Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Trapped in the South. Today's video is a recap of when we went to Natchez, Mississippi. We went to Natchez. This is probably a story time video, actually. We went to Natchez, Mississippi in March to do I'm going to call it a black culture tour. um, Basically how Natchez, Mississippi played into black history. And I'm leaving this picture up here because this is literally the representation of how I looked during majority of this tour. This tour was about 2 hours. We did Rev's Country Tours line, I believe. He was with the visitor center. Super nice, beyond knowledgeable. I truly, really enjoyed listening to all of the just, I don't even know the correct words to say, the things that have occurred in this city. And I feel like day to day I'm learning more and more and more about my history. And there are pieces that have been purposely hidden. And to have a place like Natchez not be super far away and not have visited or be aware of the strong presence we had there, the strong traumatic presence we had there, honestly is a little disturbing. This, he took us to probably, I'm going to just say 6 places, but the 6 places had significant meaning to the area. Apparently, Natchez was a place where slaves were brought to. I do not want to go into super detail about all of the places because there are some places where you can hear his voice and he is speaking to what is it. And basically, I don't want to take away from his tour. I really think that if you are interested in this topic, it would be a great idea for you to actually go to Natchez, Mississippi and contact the Visitors Bureau ahead of time and go through this tour yourself.
Cypress needs as hard as concrete, and that's how the tree gets its oxygen. Cypress is the most dense of all hardwoods. It lasts with, man, that's a bad phone you got, girl. Go ahead. Yeah, that phone's good. You know, people get married out here because it's such a beautiful scene. Cypress grows in swamps and marshes. McMurrin planted this just for aesthetics, to give a more beautiful and interesting foreground to the panoramic view of the property. Melrose is 80 acres and it's a dowry property. It was gifted to him by his father-in-law upon betrothal of his daughter. Her name is Mary Louise. She was an avid gardener and grew every kind of flowering plant and fruit bearing plant that could be grown in deep south. The gardens here are absolutely phenomenal. If you were the right class of person, you got to go through the second set of gates. Otherwise, you went around back. There are 2 slaves that stand beside 2 sets of concrete steps. They're called belvederes. They would escort young ladies out of carriage. Handmaidens would take your outer garments and usher you in to Mrs. McMurrin's waiting arms. Now, the first thing you notice when you come to that house within the wall, there was 24-karat gold inlaid wallpaper with velvet trim. Melrose had its own china and silver design internationally renowned. You can go to fine china stores anywhere in the world today and buy Melrose china or Melrose silver. Melrose is the only one of the antebellums in Natchez that belongs to the Park Service. And because it belongs to the federal government, it's the most well-maintained of the antebellums, and it boasts the most dependencies. Dependency was a name given to the outbuildings that support the big house. So first I want to talk to y'all about life behind the big house. That's a carriage house, 7 to 10 carriages of the highest quality, the most expensive could be found, a livery stable and barn. These 2 white A-frame buildings in the back were slave quarters. Now 25 slaves lived and worked here. 15 worked outside, 10 worked inside. History calls them the planetary elite. It is a closed system, so you can't pull yourself up by the bootstraps with a good idea, blood, sweat, and tears, and ascend into their ranks. No, there are only 2 ways to become one of them. Either you're born into it or you marry into it. So everybody around here is trying to marry up. That's my pretty wife Brenda did, by the way. She married up. I try to tell her at least once or twice a week what a good decision she made in terms of her selection of a spouse. Yeah. If you ever meet Brenda, though, you don't really have to share that part of the tour. You know, that way you stand.
Yeah,
Y'all Cousins are marrying cousins in an effort to consolidate wealth into one family's bloodline. These people are elitists, and I mean that in every sense of the word. They're snobby people, and they would have judged us before we came onto the property by the type of carriage we drove. They had as great a variety of carriages as we have cars. They would have known if we were in an Aston Martin, a Bentley, a Rolls Royce, or an old Chevy van like Red. First thing we notice when we come on the property is beautiful cypress pond. The cypress is an aquatic tree. It has evolved so that the roots grow up and not down, and the roots are called developed here. So much so that anything your mind could conceive that you wanted, you could have. And if it didn't exist, you could pay somebody to invent it. Now, savages are bent on the destruction of every age, race, and gender. And it's kind of odd that we call these people savages. They were far from that. They had a very complex society. It wasn't European, but it was still complex. And the antebellum stories that are being told here, I call them the Gone with the Wind stories as a baby boomers. And Natchez has been really reluctant to expand its narrative, even in the face of its revenue, which is what I do. I go farther back in history, we talk more about people and culture than bricks and mortar, and I'm about to challenge, violate some certified narratives.
Can we take a second to go back to the garden club? Like, when you say garden club, I think of like stuff that I've seen in movies. I don't think that I've actually physically witnessed or seen what that looks like in today's world.
That's what you saw in the movies. A bunch of rich old white ladies who own everything.
That help?
I mean, that's what comes to mind.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Richer than the help.
Wow.
Those were middle class ladies. The help. The help was filmed here. Part was filmed here. Part was filmed in Jackson. His producer, Tate Taylor, opened a movie studio called Premier Letter Picture Company. And I do have some of Minnie's chocolate pie for y'all to sample after the
We don't want it.
When you said it, I was like,
Wait a minute.
This is a crappy joke.
A crappy joke. I get it.
It's a stinky joke. Yeah.
You know,
It keeps running and running and giving. I'm trying to wipe it out of my mind.
do you know, Rev, do you know what area or what streets the help was filmed on?
Got a bunch of stale jokes.
Jordan wants to know, do you know what area or what streets the Help was filmed on?
I'm not sure. No, I do not. Okay. 10,000 years ago, archaeologists say the first humans to occupy the space were Paleo-Indians that they call Mississippians. They were the direct ancestors of three indigenous Mississippi tribes, Biloxi, Yazoo, and Natchez. All three have cities named after them. All three are extinct. The French got the word Natchez from the Natchez, and the etymology of that word is a bit vague, but we believe it means swift warrior. The Natchez were the ones who named that river Mississippi. So the word Mississippi is an Indian word. It comes from right here, and it means father of waters. The original Natchez village is about 11 miles of the Natchez Trace from here. It's called Emerald Mound. It's the second largest Indian mound in the United States. 65 feet tall, 440 feet long on 8 acres. It was constructed and utilized from 1250 AD to 1600. So the Natchez are an ancient culture of people. Now their most prolific chief's name was Great Sun. And he moved them from their ancestral home in 1600 to this site right here. They were semi-nomadic hunter-gatherers, so the villages moved based on the availability of food and water. This week in Natchez is Powwow, and Powwow is where the Choctaw tribe, whose nation is in Philadelphia, Mississippi, same place where Schwerner, Goodman, and Cheney got killed, come back to Natchez and celebrate Natchez blood. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. But we're going to get out here for a second.
We had an amazing lunch at Frankie's. It's downtown-ish. It's an old bank, and you can very quickly tell that it is an old bank. It is gorgeous on the inside and had really good food. I could definitely see this easily being a very busy dinner spot, honestly. After going, it kind of reminds me of something that could be in DC easily, corner to corner. It is just gorgeous, and whoever the developers were really did an amazing job of keeping the integrity of what the structure once was, but also updating it for it to be with the times, quote unquote. I love a good bathroom. Like if I'm going somewhere quote fancy or just somewhere new, I want to see what the bathroom looks like. Like, how did you decide to take something that everyone has and make it special and like just for it to be cute? I really, really enjoy having just, just being a tourist and enjoying these special moments. So, I really enjoyed this tour in my time in Natchez. I've never really stopped in Natchez before beyond like a Dairy Queen on the way to Baton Rouge, but this was well worth it. So if you guys are ever in the Natchez area, please stop, do the tour with Rev, go to Frankie's on Main. Just go and indulge in something that maybe normally you wouldn't. So here's our group. We are Black Culture Buzz, and you can find us at blackculturebuzz.org or a local community event. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good day. Bye.